welcome everybody. It gives me immense pleasure to be part of this book launch, and I can't tell you the kind of joy that we have to bring Akshaya to this place. We have been contemplating for quite some time, for the last 1 month, to make this event possible, and today there we are. So please join me in welcoming Akshaya Bahibala, who's been traveling all along, and I'm told that he's covering another 25 cities from here. That's really brilliant. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about the book and also briefly introduce the author to you. So I have the pleasure in talking about, this is a session of reading and celebration of Akshaya Bahibala's new book, Bhang Journeys. This word Bhang can ring the bell in Indian mind. So these are the journeys, stories, histories, trips, and travel. So we also have the privilege to have Ms Jennifer Larson, the US Consul General, Hyderabad. Please also join in welcoming Ms Larson here. So this is a very fascinating racy book on the most popular, intoxicant of India and the world, and it's packed with anecdotes, interviews, so many things. There are lots of confessions as well. So this is unlike any book written on the subject so far in India. So let me take a minute to introduce the author of this evening. Akshaya Bahibala is a bookseller, poet. He wears many caps. He's also a publisher, library activist. He's also the co-founder of the Walking Book Fairs, an independent book store and publishing house, and one of the country's most popular book mobile, and has traveled more than 35,000 kilometers and covering more than 20 states to spread the love of reading. So Akshaya has written 4 books in Odia, and this is his first book in English. When he isn't traveling across India, he lives in Bhubaneswar with his partner Satabdi and friend Malu and their cats. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over the mic to the author and the speaker of this evening, Mr. Bahibala.
Thank you, Hyderabad. I hope I can make you a bit of high, bit high this evening. But before that, I asked my dear friend Jennifer to, read few lines, then I'll talk about the book. This is not only on Bhang or marijuana. This is also very political. It talks about caste. It talks about everything. When I started working in this industry, I worked as a very little data entry operator. Today I run 2 bookshops. But it is not easy. It's difficult. But thank you so much, all of you. I'll talk a lot, but now Jennifer must read a bit.
Thank you. Before I start, I wanted to just to say how we first met. I was in Bhubaneswar, my very first trip, meeting with a local politician of all people, and we had been talking about books. And he said, "Well, there's this bookshop that you have to go to. It's called Walking Books." And I said, "Well, where is it?" And he said, "Well, he showed me on the map." So I put it on Google Maps. I gave it to the drivers, and then we were there. And so you were there with Satabdi. It was probably 11:30 in the morning. There were cats everywhere. There was wine. It was like 11:30 in the morning. And then there was the most amazing bookshop I had been to in years. And so we became friends then. And every time I've gone back to Bhubaneswar, I obviously go and spend time there. I've got no knowledge on the subject of Bhang, but I'm here to support you in your journey and your amazing bookmobile that goes around India with these incredible. And if you ever get the chance to Bhubaneswar and to Cuttack now, they have another shop there. It's an incredibly amazing, curated and picked, just the collection. The first time I went there, I had so many books, we had to parcel them back to Hyderabad because I couldn't carry them. And just somebody who loves to write and somebody who loves to read. It's a kindred spirit here. And so with that, I'm just going to read just one. This is as he starts to talk about writing the book. And this is in your voice, so, but it's, I'll try to do my best. Okay. And this is on page 14. So it says, "As 10 years slipped through my fingers like sand on beach road Puri, I kept an occasional notebook. These fragments are from that handwritten notebook. The beach road area was frequented back then by the last of the hippies and the early backpackers. And I'm so sorry I missed Puri at that time. Whenever you go to Puri now, you don't see that. One lot dropping out, the other one dropping in. The road became very crowded after the invention of the internet. People were logging in, dropping out, and dropping in at the same time. Suddenly, there were voyeurs, the tourists who would never take the risk to live or to let go, the kind who wouldn't let even a year slip through their fingers like sand. About that lot, I have nothing to say. In any case, I had moved on by then.
Thank you, Jennifer. I was around 19, 20-year-old on a beach road in Puri, and I was addicted to bhang, marijuana, charas, afim, alcohol, and there was nowhere to go. And once you're on these, small touristy places, many a times you just meet tourists and you travel with them. Maybe on trips which are like high on marijuana or bhang or alcohol. You don't realize that this is 5 years, 10 years. But I lived many of my life years of my life. I did nothing, and this was the place where I also learned how to read and speak and communicate in any other languages apart from my own Odia. I learned a bit of Bangla, I learned Hindi, I learned English, I learned a bit of French or a bit of Italian. But I never thought of, writing a book because I was just nobody on the road. And somehow, I don't know what you call, maybe this is destiny. I ended up in a bookstore in 2010. And I got into books only because of tourists who gifted me books. I lost my father, I didn't attend the funeral, and I met this woman who gave me a book called Outsider, The Stranger by Albert Camus. And someone gives me Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, someone gives me Alchemist. So many books, they were all gifted to me by these tourists who frequented Puri. And this is where I picked up books. But I never thought of writing a book or getting into this industry, working. And then I realized that sometimes people just end up on these beaches or on these touristy places forever. People die. Many foreigners that I met, I saw them dying in front of me. They came to Puri as tourists, and then one day you hear that this person is dead. And I said, wow, what happened? He was high on something and lived 10 years and 15 years or 20 years and then gone. And I was also into it. And I never thought, I can actually get out of it. I got out of it. And then now, when I go back to it, I realize that you just need someone to, hold you for 2 minutes. Say, okay, you can do it. There is no difference between a bad person or a good person. People keep telling you, oh, this is a junkie. You're high on this and that. But generally, in India, bhang is legal in many states. So legally, we the people, the government, is selling bhang to us, which is at a very, very high quantity. You can buy 120 grams of bhang in Odisha legally from a government licensed bhang shop. And now, when you get high, you get addicted, the same society which is selling it legally through their government shops is not doing anything for you. We don't have a system where, we can rehabilitate people. We can actually, tell all the young people that this is okay once you can smoke or get high, but you can do so many other things. So the excise department does not spend a lot of money on opening up small rehabilitation centers. There is no system of getting you clean. And all these things we don't talk about because we always think this is like something bad, but we all enjoy it. I meet millions of people who all are into something. Someone is into alcohol, someone is into bhang, someone is into ganja. We all want to get high. Some with music. I'm always high. A lot of people say, are you smoking right now? No, I'm not smoking, but I am high on selling books sometimes reading. I'm talking about books. But it is something we just don't want to talk. Say, okay, this is good, this is bad. You go around India, if you look carefully, you find marijuana everywhere. be it Hyderabad, be it Bombay or Delhi. It is illegal, but it's just there. Everybody smokes. Yes, when I say everybody, maybe not 80%, but what about the other 20%? They're smoking. But we don't want to talk about it. But the book that I wrote is not only on Bhang. This is my own journey, that how you can actually get out of this and go to the top. And this is very funny that we create this character saying, okay, this person does not deserve to go up, this person does not have a degree, so this person cannot run a business, this person doesn't have a degree in English literature, so he cannot write a book. Which is strange, in India we have so many languages. You can write a book in your own language, in Telugu, Tamil, Odia, Malayalam, Bengali. Within Odisha we have so many other dialects, and it is very easy to actually write something in your head in your own language, then translate into another language. But when I got into the industry, it was like packed with people from the privileged class. So everybody you meet says, no, you cannot write a book. You're nobody. Who's your father? You don't come from a family of writers. You don't come from a family of readers. You have never read so many books. You don't know this writer. You don't know the style. And then I decided, why not have my own style? And when I was working on a different book, which is a bigger autobiographical work, my publisher Ravi was a very, very genuine person, Ravi Singh from Speaking Tiger, who was with Penguin for a long time, tells me, why are you not writing? I said, I'm just not writing, it's not happening. I said, just write something. At the same time, I smell something, Ravi smells something. This is on the road to Puri, and at a pan shop, at a bittle shop, right? And then I tell him that this is ganja. I said, so you can smell ganja? I said, yeah, of course I can smell ganja. Wherever it is, I can smell. He said, then why don't you write about it? If you can smell it, if you know so much about it, write about it. I said, but I'm not an expert on it. He says, but what about your own journey? You've spent so many years of your life smoking. Why don't you write? I said, oh, great. What about some money? Can you give me some money? Because I cannot be in the bookshelf the entire day and not go to places, not meet people and write about them. And Ravi says, take 40,000 rupee and give me a book. And I get this advance of 40,000 rupee and the book starts. So I go and meet different people in the excise department. Then I get to know about these addicts who are addicted to opium. And I get to know about these opium addicted people who get opium from the government under a program called Opium De-Addiction Program run by the government. So you have a passport kind of thing. You have a small piece of paper with your name and a quota saying, okay, you are eligible to carry 10 or 20 grams of opium for your personal consumption, guaranteed by the government of so and so. In Odisha, the government excise department gives you 10, 20, 15, 25 grams of opium at the rate of 5 rupee a gram under this opium de-addiction program, high quality opium from the Hajipur opium plant in Uttar Pradesh. And interestingly, these people are living legends. One of them is this jewelry guy, makes fine jewelry high on opium. And I always been told that, if you are smoking or drinking or if you are high on something, you cannot work. But this guy is brilliant. I asked him to do a small nose ring, and he does it high on opium within 10 minutes. Melts the gold and does it very quickly, very nicely. And I wanted to know more. So I went around and I met more people, and then I met this woman whose character is there. It's about this woman who got addicted to opium because of diarrhea. She had cholera when she was very young, and she was almost dying. And the father, who was into opium, somehow got to know that if you give a dose of opium, your diarrhea stops. And she was the 16, 17-year-old girl who got into opium just to stop diarrhea. And then she started taking opium a day, 2 weeks, month, and she gets addicted. Now she's around 70, 80-year-old with grandchildren, and she's laughing about it, and she's talking about how I got addicted, and she's thanking this doctor who helped him get a card, because to get these cards you had to be certified by the doctor, by the chief medical officer, who would say that this person is addicted to opium, and for a personal consumption, for medical consumption, this person requires opium. So I also got chapters on opium. Then I traveled to some districts of Odisha bordering Andhra Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, where we have huge problem of marijuana, illegal marijuana plantation. It's at a very, very, very large scale, and it's again, only the small peddlers get arrested, because we, the people who consume in bigger cities, are high up in the society. We cannot be arrested. I can talk about it, but nobody can arrest me because I am not holding marijuana in my hands. And when you go around in cities, you find all the young techies, many people now smoking, but they don't get arrested. But sadly, sometimes you also get arrested for just a joint and put behind bars for a month. And as a society, we don't want to debate about it, don't want to talk about it. What kind of madness is it that, a young boy who smokes just a single joint is put behind the bars for a month? That's and then you have big politicians, big criminals going around, with their big crimes. There's nothing against them. So I wanted to also write about my own experience, about these people, and wanted a debate around it, so that after reading some of it, people might start talking about it and say, okay, this is not right. When I was young, I missed prison by a whisker, because I left that table, and just after 15 minutes, with whom I was smoking, 3 of them, I think 2 of them went into prison, got arrested, went into prison for a month. And I don't know, maybe it was my luck, I missed it, and maybe that's why I'm writing today. But imagine 2 young boys of the age of 20, 21, spending a month behind bars just because of a joint, which is nothing, because we are all selling 120 grams of leaves, bhang, legally. Only the flowers which are high on THC is illegal. But the leaves which are low on THC is legal. So how can you do this? You're selling 120 grams. I think 120 grams is good enough for half of the people here. You make a nice lassi, give it to all. I think all of us. It can get you high. But sadly, we don't want to talk about it. Again, I also wanted to talk about the publishing industry, how only the privileged ones get published. It is very difficult if you don't know people in the industry, if you don't have connections. You cannot even submit. You submit your manuscript, maybe someone reads it after 6 months time, and maybe they're going to get back to you if it's really good. But if you know people, it is a lot easier. That's why writer so-and-so's son, grandson, granddaughter, everybody is writer. You have writer families. Are they really good at it? I don't think so. It's just that, we have a system of like that, where the entire family is well connected and they can just publish. Like if you have money and you're powerful, you can publish a book on anything that you want. And I'm not denying that it is required. For instance, Odisha has bhang as a legal substance, but we don't have many books on it. We don't write anything about it. The same with Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan. It is legal almost everywhere in the country, but we don't write much about it. Yes, there are people like Amita Ghosh who writes on opium and the big stuff, but the road stuff nobody writes about. And also how to get these connections to travel is very, very essential, very, very important. To thanks to Nikhil is there. To even go to a place to meet some of the excise people, you need someone's connection. You just cannot go there and say, okay, this is the paper I want. Nobody gives you. Though you're right, but then in the process is going to take you months. You can write a letter saying, okay, under the RTA Act, I need this and that. Maybe 4 questions. And that 4 question you get reply after 2 months, then you have to write another RTA for another 4 questions. But if you know people, if you have the right connection, you can just go there on your own. Like I met people and they said, okay, you can come with us into the forest and see the plantation, and you can travel with us inside the forest, spend 20 days, 5 days, and see and write, document about it. But otherwise, if you don't know, it is impossible to, get these things done. Yes, only if you're reluctant, okay, I'm not going to give up, maybe it's possible, but it is very, very difficult. And I'm not going to read and say anything about the book because I want you to read. If you don't read, it's waste of my time, waste of the paper, the money and all that is there. And I'm sure it's already good because, the publishing guys who are already there, they make sure that, they don't publish anything which is not worthy enough. My dear friend Jerry, who edited it nicely, Sovendra, who read it. Shovendra is a very, very nice writer and a friend. Chandras Chaudhary, Ravi Singh, all the people in the publishing industry who know me closely, I gave them a proof copy. Initially, I gave them the PDF saying, okay, have a look if you think this is good enough. Because I also wanted to change something about a bookseller. In India, when you work in a bookshop, most of us don't even consider this person as literary enough. You say, oh, this is just a bookseller. And that's why they don't even talk to you enough. If you know some of them personally, maybe. Otherwise, why would anybody talk to you? You're just a bookseller, just like any other seller, maybe working in a mall or something like that. So I wanted to change that also. But I want to talk to all of you, answer your questions, because maybe you want to know what is it all about. I've already said whatever I wanted to say. And I want you to ask whatever you feel about this topic or the subject, because then maybe it's interesting, I can talk about it. But reading, I cannot read. So thank you.
So if you have quick comments, questions, or you just want to compliment, you're most welcome to do so. We still have some 20 minutes time.
Yeah, I just want to compliment. So I know Akshay for almost like 4.5 years, more than that maybe, and I cherish all the time. Wonderful, and congratulations that you had come up with this book, and all the very, very best. And sorry I missed the last 2 occasions. I couldn't come. I promised you I'll come somehow. I'm able to make it today. One thing I just wanted to tell to all of you is like any writer or for any profession, I think passion is the most important thing. I think that is abundantly available with him. I think your publisher should be happy to encourage. He has extreme passion. 1 minute I'll take. I know him because we wanted to make libraries. So in the reading that you made about the author, so you said he is a library activist. He in fact is, and I am the living proof of it. So I worked in a district called Sundargarh in Odisha, where we wanted to make libraries. We made a call, I contacted him, he came, we made libraries, and we wanted to really have a book reading movement kind of a thing. It picked up, it has its own lifespan of its own scenario, whatever it is. The passion that was behind it. He went to Jharkhand. One of my colleague, Ravi Shukla, has also taken his passion and totally squeezed it. They have made literary festivals and whatnot. So he is a man of passion, and I'm very happy that I'm your friend. And we should all encourage such people. I'm very sure out of all these people sitting here, there are people who are passionate enough to get encouragement, self-encouragement, self-motivation in your own careers, book reading, book writing, whichever. And I hope today's evening would be in the name of all those passionate people. And thanks for everything. Thanks for your friendship. And we'll continue this journey of passion. Thank you.
Many congratulations. What I wanted to know is, how was the experience of the Bhang, let's say when you started it, when it matured, and how were you able to leave it, and what would be your advice for a fresher?
You can go to the brink of madness, and there is no formula that this is enough for me, that is enough, this quantity is good. Like 5 grams Bhang can be very good high for someone, but for the other person it can be madness. Bhang is very, very tricky. For some others, it doesn't work at all. Some say, I didn't feel anything at all. So I'm not an expert on that, but these characters that you meet, like for instance, I'm going to read like 4 or 5 lines from this Bhang seller called Brahmin Bhang seller. So this guy kept telling me that I'm a Brahmin Bhang seller and I don't lie, which is very, very funny, how you bring everything into, like asked into every profession that you do. So this guy, the government Bhang shop Brahmin, this is page number 36. Sir, I'm a Brahmin Bhang shop owner. My father was a very reputed Brahmin of good social standing. Here, take a look at this photo of my father. Is with ministers and social workers. Big people. I don't do anything wrong. Sir, I just sell pure Bhang drink. I don't mix it with any rubbish that might make it poisonous. If you try my Bhang drink, you will not be ill, sir. It's natural, an Ayurvedic herb. It's good for health. And I was surprised the entire conversation. Hi Ravi. So the entire conversation was about this Brahmin guy trying to convince me that I'm not a bad person. And he was telling me that I don't sell it to kids. But whenever a father sends a kid, I just hand it over. I said, what? You just said you don't sell it to kids, but how can you give it to a kid when a father sends him? And then I asked him, what about your son? What about him? Is he drinking, smoking? And the Brahmin seller said, no. I am a good father. And we are Brahmin people. We are not going to drink. And I was surprised, so you're worried about your own son. You don't want your own son to drink. And what about the other sons? They're also, human beings. And how can the same good quality Bhang, which you assured me 5 minutes back, becomes bad for your own son? So these characters were very, very funny. This Brahmin Bhang seller, and then meeting some of the people whom I was inside the forest, the excise people. We were there to destroy the illegal crop, but they were taking out the finest buds and cutting them and keeping aside. And I asked some of them, what are you doing? One of them said, no, this is for a puja, which is true. We do Trinath Mela in Odisha, in Bengal, in Assam. There is a little puja called Trinath Mela. Trinath, like the 3 lords, and you worship marijuana. The entire thing, the puja, is all about smoking up. People do chilam and play music, and then that's the festival, that's the puja. And I actually did go to my ancestral village and did a Trinath puja for the book's well-being. Before the book, actually, I just wanted to experience it. I said, okay, we must do it then, And so these are the characters, which is amazing. It is there, legally available. The moment people drink it, many say this is bad. The society is selling it less now and selling more alcohol everywhere. For instance, in Odisha now every gram panchayat has every panchayat has a liquor shop, government foreign liquor shop, and we are still poor. How can a panchayat which is dependent on subsidized rice needs a government foreign liquor shop? So you're saying the people who cannot afford to buy rice can afford to buy alcohol, which is very funny. I cannot take it. So I cannot buy rice, but I can buy alcohol. And Bhang shops, for instance, we are trying to reduce, we the people, when I say government, we are trying to reduce the number of Bhang shops in Odisha from 300, 400, 500 to now around 100 odd, because it does not give you high revenue. It is very cheap, and it can get you high with a very small quantity. That is why the government is actually trying to push liquor to make more or generate more revenue. So I write about that, and I also felt that, how can you say that bhang is bad, but 2 bottles of alcohol is good? Maybe they're equally bad or good, I don't know. Again, when we are selling alcohol, bhang, all these things, we stopped advertisement on television, but we do so many other pseudo advertisements for these brands. With bhang, when we sell bhang, we don't even tell people the side effects. There's not a single notice board you find on any of these bhang shops. They're just bhang shops. You go buy bhang. Nobody even tells you growing up that, okay, this is the side effect, like you're asking me now. There has to be a signboard saying, okay, bhang can be fatal, bhang can be injurious or whatever. You don't find a single poster saying that in any of the bhang shops in Odisha, in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. All it says government bhang shop. In Noida recently, I visited Noida. In Noida, they have this government bhang teka. It doesn't say anything else. It's just bhang, pure. And many people just associate it with the gods, the Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva thing cannot be bad for you. Maybe that's how it is. So this is one Brahmin bhang seller. And there are other people also. Please, anything else, boss?
Yeah, I have a small
Please,
question.
please.
So, first of all, congratulations on picking
Thank
such a not so common topic and presenting in. I'm sure I've not read it because you're spelling it. So I just read the synopsis. I mean, whatever is written about the book. So I'm sure that you have written something really amazing. And for instance, the story that you told. But what I wish to know is while you were writing this book. So there would have been instances where you would have felt, disconnected, whether you should continue writing or not. So I'm sure there would have been certain instances. Were there or were there not?
Nah.
So
I'm not that kind of person. If I want to kill you, I'll kill you. If I want to, do something, I'll do it. If you have something in your head, and if you have lived 20 years, 10 years, I don't know what more you need. You need time to sit down, get a bit of money to, buy a nice meal, not do anything else, and sit down and write. Like I'm doing my other book, which is very, very autobiographical, starting from working as a waiter when I was 19 years old, till, getting into publishing and going to world's biggest publishers conference or, booksellers conference, getting invited to, talk at JLF. Very, very funny because you're the same person and you see these extreme sides of life. And how can you not write about it which you have lived? Yeah, it is difficult for people who are trying to find a story. I am not trying to find a story. This is my own life. I was stoned. I was stoned that evening. I met these people. You write about it. I never wanted to be a writer. It is difficult when you want to be a writer and you spend money on studying, you spend money on going to attend 20 classes. And you end up 20 years reading 2,000 books saying, okay, now I am ready. It doesn't happen that way, boss. You have a story you tell. You're angry, you are angry. If you're funny, you're funny. Maybe you're not good at, editing it. That's where, editors can help, your publishing friends can help. But if you have a story, you can tell a story. If you do not have a story, your only goal is to be a writer one day and be famous. I don't know that's going to happen ever. It doesn't happen. That's why, you meet Arvind Adiga, who is very private. Have you seen Arvind Adiga doing this ever? No. I don't know how. He won Booker with the first or second book. You go and I'm traveling around India trying to promote my book. This guy, did maybe 1 or 2 big events, that's all. Nothing else. But it's a very good quality piece of writing. It is your writing. If you have something inside you which is, trying to come out, you tell why I'm angry. Because I want to say things. And that anger, if reflected on paper, can be a good story. But it just comes, you get your money, someone is giving you 40,000 rupees not to work 10 days, and you cover something, you take pictures, you write, maybe you're not good at, putting them together, well, you can do it, fix it later on, but you can record, you can click pictures, you can do audio. There's so many ways of doing it now. Like earlier, it was difficult. Now, I had to travel to these places and I took a Cessna from Bhubaneswar like a 9-seater to Koraput at 2,500 rupee. You can do that. Earlier maybe it was difficult because you had to travel on buses, trains and change. I think now it's very, very easy if you have a story inside you to take it out. Like if you don't want to write, you can record your own things and then go back to it and change everything. But I think I never had a problem. And also I was drinking, smoking, it's okay. Hi.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Okay. So I think my question is, like, this is just an opinion thing, but there's this idea that like people maybe make art better when they are high. What do you think of it?
That I do not agree with. Like I said, that guy who was making jewelry, brilliant guy, but that's not me. If I am high on something, I cannot work. I can think, but I cannot work. You have to be really good at it. I have a lot of admiration for people who can play music, guitar, they're high on it. For me personally, if I am on really, really high, I just want to relax, man. I want a swimming pool or a bathtub or have a nice meal. But there are people whom I've seen, the extremely talented. My former boss, one of my former boss was a cook, a chef, Italian chef. He would be high on anything and then make very beautiful pasta. Like the process of making dough to, everything. And I was amazed because, we would smoke together and I am like not able to move. And he would slap me. He would say like, what's this? Huh? I gave you something to, move fast. Now you're so slow. So that I don't. Yes, you have so many thoughts coming. Sometimes it's very difficult to, channelize them. That is where many people think, or I have this brilliant idea. I know my friends who've been thinking for last 35 years or 20 years. And they're brilliant people. I'm not saying that they're bad people. They're my closest friend. I have written about a friend now who thinks that, KGB is behind me, Roy is behind me. A brilliant friend who has helped me a lot. And I keep telling him that, boss, why don't you do something? Because the only thing that you do is smoking. Why don't you cook? A basic thing. You can be a nice chef also. But he doesn't want to. Bringing these brilliant ideas after smoking into your head is beautiful. But then, channelizing them into making samosa is very, very difficult at times. So if you are high and thinking something, write it down. Because you almost forget everything after that. Which is very funny. You forget 80% of it. 10%. If you're brilliant, like I am brilliant at remembering things. I'm like mad person, thinking and remembering. But most of the people say, no, I don't remember. What happened last night? I said, we were drunk. We were talking about this and that. So that happens. But I think, it's okay. Do you want to like get high and think and creative?
No. So I thought it was unfair to suggest that you need to be high to let the art happen.
No. I don't have a problem people getting high, but I don't have a formula for you. Your formula is yours. You want to get high, do music, good. You want to get high, not work, good. You want to get high and just dance, good. I cannot say what is good for me is going to be good for you, which is again the same like education system. Everybody has to be a graduate, and then what? 2% people work, the 98%, okay, you don't have anything else, you're bad. It doesn't happen that way. You take your own path. That's what I say. Thank you.
Is this your book also trying to unravel or demystify, or in some sense trying to dispel some of the myths related to Bhang as such? Or will there be an impact after reading?
This is my own journey, I just want to get back at people also. Some of the people who keep telling you forever, you cannot do this, you're not good, you're fail. Like all my teachers, mad people, they kept telling me, you're not good at studies, you're going to fail. I said, boss, I've already failed. No, you're very bad at mathematics. Yes, I have failed mathematics. What more do you want? Now tell me how to pass the exams. Tell me how to, copy maybe, cheat maybe, or do something. Imagine you meet your teachers at the age of 40 and they say, so what are you doing? Still nothing? No, boss, nothing. Are you happy now? I know one of these teachers who's dead now, and she kept telling me all the time I met her, you are very bad. You're not going to be anything. And I kept telling her, yes, I don't want to be anything. I never want to be anything. I just want to have fun at school, right? I'm in school. Imagine you're in school, but your only job is to be the first. Only one person can be the first, or second, or third. 3. So the other 97 are like fighting forever. Yes, I understand you have to fight, but there are other fights also. That is where I feel, you write or you say things or you do things to prove to yourself that, to remind yourself that, okay, I can make nice tea also. You remember this now, and Chai Wala now has become a celebrity. So funny society that we are. We are so funny. We are so bad at each other, to each other. We want to like put you down for nothing. Chai Wala, bad people. Then one day, Swachhata Abhiyan, everybody is like worshipped as God. But we pay them badly. We know that. So all these things, I just want to talk about things which is going to make people bit uneasy. That's why there's this Brahmin Bhang. I could have taken other Bhang. Why a Brahmin Bhang? I met so many Bhang, but it was funny because it's a Brahmin Bhang and he's proudly saying that I'm a Brahmin Bhang. Imagine what kind of caste privilege this person has. I'm a writer's son. For me, I'm nobody. Do you know my father? I don't know my father. I only know that my father comes from a small village and he was the first person in his entire family to even go to school. But he managed to do 10+2 and get a job. That is not praised in our stories, which is sad. He didn't have the money to go further with education. But all you get is, okay, this IIT guy, of course he had the money to go to IIT, IIM. And then, after going to IIM, you come out of IIM, then you don't like it. Now I want to do Chai Wala. You wasted so much money, man. You would have done chai long time back. So that is all, I don't think, I really want to have a debate because one of the member of parliament spoke about marijuana a long time back from Odisha, Mr. Tathagat Satpathy in the parliament, said, there's a record under the parliament documents, he spoke about legalizing marijuana and the taboo around it. Of course, I want to talk about it when we have made this thing, bad people, good people. You work for ITC selling tobacco as vice president, good people. You're smoking on the road and then the entire society, the uncles, the aunties, mother, father, everything. How bad of you? I was like, okay, you tell this guy who's selling, making like billions, tell him to stop. Or, let me smoke and maybe think and create a new brand which can compete with ITC. I don't know. I always felt this very, very uneasy thing inside me. That, they tell you, a waiter hai. I was like, why? You don't want waiters? A bookseller hai. But imagine you are the same person, but you're connected to someone. Of course, you do anything possible. Anything you need, you want to do, it's possible, you can do it. But the Chai Wala is amazing, I love this guy. Look at the hairstyle and all that. And now people paying him money to, do ads. For what? Only because, Mr. Bill Gates was there and he did this chai thing and he has... I know so many people who do this brilliant thing on the road. That's how it is, We don't celebrate small successes. We have to be like really, really big. Okay, wrote a book. I know so many people who can write brilliant books, but they're not given that opportunity in life. I have worked in this publishing industry for 15 years now, and I meet young people who are super talented, but since they want to be writers, they only aspire to write a book to be writer. They're not telling their own stories, which is there. They should talk about Bhubaneswar, how it is. They're not talking about that. But I don't know. It's a funny thing that, as nobody in this country, you still have a chance to do something. It's just that, you don't meet these people who tell you that you can do something. You always meet people who tell you that you have failed. And that's why you see all the young people so desperate to be on social media, waiting for 20 likes, 30 likes, 40 likes. The entire generation, older aunties, uncles, all going mad saying, I have 200 followers. They come to show you that they look, I have 500 followers now. Can you imagine what is happening? So that is a journey of a mad person. And this has a Allen Ginsberg thing at the beginning, because Allen Ginsberg also came to Puri long time back. And there is not a lot of documentation in Odia writing, in my own writing, in my own language, about the great Allen Ginsberg in Puri beach, on the road, smoking in burning hearts, with the beggars, sleeping on the road. Somebody could have done a brilliant book. I felt so sad, that everybody is dying to do books in Odisha, but why not this chapter? Allen Ginsberg, staying in Puri, Bhubaneswar, Cuttack, meeting people, photographs. We don't want to do it. So when I read him, I loved it, because I never had the opportunity in school to read. But then I read the small chapter when Allen Ginsberg is actually writing about Puri, and it says, and this is here, Puri. I don't know if you all know Allen Ginsberg. You don't know Allen Ginsberg? You don't know Allen Ginsberg? Wow. What are you saying? You don't know this? You are literary people. But there's a movie, Hollywood movie, very popular movie, and you have to search for Google for Allen Ginsberg. I don't have to tell. He's one of the greatest poets. He was openly gay, and I don't know if people could digest that those days, but he's one of the greatest writers, and I like his work. I like Bukowski, and these people I didn't know. I had no idea, because I didn't do university, didn't study literature, nothing. Just because of the bookstore, I come to know about them, and I started reading. And so there's a small chapter, very little one, from Allen Ginsberg. I think this is all. We wanted to actually finish quickly, because they have 6 to 7 slots. So I'm already mad. I just wanted to finish and go. So we are already there, na? Done. Huh? Done, na?
If there are no questions or comments, so shall we call it a night?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. We want lots of pictures. That's
Yes.
all.
All right, so I'll take this, privilege. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Hyderabad. Thank you, Lamakaan. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Ravi. I'm so sorry I have to come and say hello. Nikhil, everybody, and I am very, very excited. And this book has to sell, man, no matter what. If it doesn't sell, I'll not write the other one. That's what I have promised myself. Because at the end of the day, your publisher is going to say, okay, this is the number, go, I'm not going to do it again. Anyway, my friend is not going to do that. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Akshay, and thank you, Jennifer, for gracing this occasion. The books are on sale and on the here. So please grab your copy.
Just Allen Ginsberg. He's an American beat poet for the 1960s. He lived in San Francisco. City Lights Bookshop, which is one of the greatest bookshops in the world. Also, just behind walking. Look him up. I had no idea he spent time in Puri. So thank you for that. That's amazing. That's who he is. I'm from California, so I have to speak.